the agave spirit here in beautiful Puerto Morelos. Look at that sunrise. It's really tough sometimes living here. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just gonna do not a long video here, kind of a quick video. I'll kind of walk along here a little bit, see if we can keep that into focus. And not a lot of wind today at all. It was beautiful yesterday, and beautiful yesterday. So this one is really, I had to redo this video. I don't know, maybe my second or third go at it, because it involves Gina Carano, and don't think we used any of these videos that I did. I just did a number of hours, and I fitted in the subject in with a number of things. But the saga started that I was down here and decompressing after a very long time taking care of my parents. 11 years. My father with Alzheimer's, and my mother just old and beat up after a lifetime of 9 children and raising them and all that type of thing. And so I came down here finally. They passed away. My father, a good while ago now, 5-6 years. My mom about 3 years. So I wasn't really into the film and television, even though spending 25 years, over 25 years in it, doing everything for everybody. Head of development for 3 companies, including a large Chinese company where we had a $400 million film fund that we lost, because that's how it is in China. They make a decision, and from one day to the next, you're out of business. We lost ours the same day Paramount lost their $500 million, and we had everybody coming to us. We had DC Entertainment. I was discussing projects with them. Keanu Reeves for John Wick 3. We ultimately didn't finance it, and his APE film is Ape Film, which is balls to the walls. And I really pushed hard. It was only about a $6 or $7 million science fiction film, and Keanu sent us a reel that he did, and of course the story and synopsis. I have everything. So I don't know, probably won't reveal that, because it's a story. You're sending it to heads of development all over the place, trying to get money. So I won't divulge that particular story right now, but it's an awesome story. I really don't know why it wasn't financed, because Keanu went balls to the walls on that, trying to get it made. It's a passion project for him, but it wasn't made. So to get back to this subject matter, I really had dropped out film and television. My last stint was as an agent in Beverly Hills, boutique agency, but we were crossing a lot of Latinos from the telenovela period, and crossing them over because they're fantastic talents, as everyone now sees. With the advent of Narcos, really set the whole thing on fire, and it just built and built from there. And these Latino and Mexican talents that mainly use the Spanish language, they just don't need to cross over anymore. Zero need. There's so much money now with streaming between Apple and Amazon and Netflix, Amazon MGM, all the streamers, that there's really no need. The Spanish content is like exploding. So I'm into that with The Adventures of Loisa Fortune, which is like it's got elements of Indiana Jones, Lara Croft, The Mummy. It's one of those throwbacks from the 90s-ish, 2000s, even though it's present day. So it deals with Aztec and Mayan mythology, and it's very family oriented. There's some dark side. The second one first one is the Temple of Wonders. The second one is the Temple of Blood. And I'm after a particular, I know the director, Gigi Salguero, that I'd like for that. I've already expressed that to her. and still waiting for a self-tape from her. I don't know if she's ever going to send it, to be the sister of Sophia, a sister of Loisa Fortune, and that's Sophia Fortune. It's a great role with a great arc. It's even going to get bigger because this is a film franchise. There's, like I said, there's 3 stories right now. There's the Temple of Wonders, Temple of Blood, and the Black Hole Sun, and we'll go from there. I mean, the beauty of this thing is I already built the torchbearer into it from the jump, so the arc of Loisa is very interesting. There's elements of, I don't know, like 4 of the biggest grossing films ever made. So it's a lot of fun. It's edgy but family oriented, and it's for a global audience, for the streamers. I developed it specifically for that, price tag wise and everything, and so it should be great. So anyway, I decompressed and I'm started getting back into things. So when I saw Gina Carano in The Mandalorian, and I really like what I saw. I saw some growth in her in that role. I think she was becoming more comfortable as an actress, even though it was limited, limited scenes, limited role. But I was working on, wanted to spec out, because that's what I am, a spec writer for my entire career. I love spec writing, and I've always done it. So I was specking out Predator La Condona. I wanted to put Gina Carano in a Predator film, and basically the Arnold Schwarzenegger type of situation. I was bringing back Carl Weathers' character, Dylan, which I did quite ingeniously, I think, and there was some cool twist in this one, because, Predator, how many times have you seen Predator? But it was a throwback to the 1980, even though it was present day, the vibe was going to be the 1987 hit film, as far as what the vibe was going to be. So I was doing that, and then the displacement with Disney happened, and I think we were all bothered by it, and we should have been bothered by it. I mean, they were trying to destroy a human being, not just our career. They were trying to destroy a human being, and they effectively did for a good long time. We started working on a project right then. I mean, I sat down and I wrote the Apex script specifically for Gina, and she didn't have a agent, management, working with Scott. Scott's no longer there. He went cold on us. We started pretty good, the discussions, and then it went ice cold. And maybe there was a rift, maybe there was a reason. I don't know. I have a feeling why he probably didn't want to pursue this particular project, because of what it is and how it's structured. So I can understand that based on, I know that he's a manager and know how managers work, because I was a manager, and I've worked with managers like Scott. So I decided to do this project, and it came out of me fairly quickly, the script portion of it. And I'm not going to explain the whole thing, because we are discussing with our new management, Rob. Came back to me right away, so hopefully there's some movement. And I just want to tell Gina that this is like Jon Favreau. Writers like me, I've done conceptual stories for everybody, every major production company, every major studio, for a very, very long time. And so this was structured specifically for Gina. And when you have someone like that understands you as a character, understands that you need to grow as an actress, because I was waiting to see Terror on the Prairie, and it was okay, but that's not what this is. This is a film that's got a lot of the beauty and elements of The Shallows, elements of The Revenant, The Hateful Eight. I mean, those vistas and that type of thing. So that's how this is. This has to be Jurassic Park, Orca. I mean, it's just an awesome project for Gina, and she needs to do it. I'm just looking right at the camera and saying, Gina, I'm trying to look at the camera, and Gina, you need to do this for your career, because this is going to elevate you in every single way imaginable, especially as an actress. When someone is on the screen 87% of the time, maybe, yeah, at least 87% of the time, then they're going to get the opportunity to act, and it's on their shoulders. So we've got a deal on the table for Gina, and it's a very substantial deal. Nothing like this ever in her career, I don't think, has been presented. Maybe one project that I know of, which I think was the reason this one didn't possibly happen earlier, because it's in the same kind of structural vein as that one. And this is brutal. It's going to take everything Gina has as an actress, physically, mentally. It's that way. So it's going to stretch her as an actress. It's going to stretch her as a producer, because that's part of the deal, producing. Directing, I mean, we have it presented within it, but I don't think Gina's ready for something like this. And I have access to incredible directors, and I think everything is changing now with the change that's going on. And I think Gina's going to be welcomed back into the community. She doesn't need to go back there, because there's so much independent stuff that she can do. Like I said, we've been after this for 2.5 years, and I know we were told she moved to another state, and I've been watching everything, tracking her, and I kind of put 2 and 2 together of what she did, and I know Gina was really damaged by this, and I think she's opening up to that, just economically, but emotionally. I think Gina was really damaged, more so than I thought, and that's why I was a little bit rougher. I was a little bit rougher in my other videos, and I just said, this is not the route, Lance, you want to take. It might be the route that she needed. Sometimes you need that real push, because I hadn't seen anything from her since Terror on the Prairie, which is over 2 years. So if you're an actor, I mean, part of what I was saying is, if you're an actor or an actress, you have to act, you have to act. You have to put stuff out there. So that's where I was at in my previous ones, that you need to get on the horse and ride. And this thing is insane. This has got the Spielberg vibe, his Jaws vibe, Jurassic Park vibe. It's got all that in there, the beautiful imagery. There's some light moments. There's some really fun moments that are in there for a reason that's going to get a good reaction. But I'm telling you, this is the kind of film, throwback film, that people are actually, I believe, are going to stand up and be clapping at the end of this. And this is for the cinema. This is not small screen Daily Wire or small screen streaming. This is something that has to be in the cinema on a very big screen, shot exceptionally well. The action shot and done exceptionally well. It's got to be a blending of like Spielberg and Jurassic Park. It's got to be a blending of in camera. Oops, excuse me there. It's got to be a blending of in camera effects, practical effects, some model kind of effects. I wouldn't say model. That's what's going on here, but and then with some CGI. And I know exactly how we're going to do this, how we're going to structure it. So we are talking to her new management, and I actually think it's the right. I had said on Paulie and Latino Slant, who I watch a lot because I do a lot of Latino stuff, and Paulie has some emphasis, even though he does everything, he has some emphasis on that. And I said, I don't think it's going to change much, but I have to apologize to Paulie, because it changed immediately. I mean, when you have a manager that gets back to you in the same day, that's the kind of person that I want to work with. So. He's got access to some, some filmmaking apparatus as far as the business is concerned, finance and such. But I know exactly how we're structuring this. I worked with WME on a Blumhouse related project, and we're going to use a Blumhouse hybrid that I created for this. Some of this has been done before. The way that the financing is put together, but like I said, because I know the Bloomhouse model well, working with WME on a project, that I knew exactly how I wanted to structure this. So Gina's got to make a. I know she was complaining, and I know Disney well. I was an agent, I was a manager. I know how Disney pays second and third tier talent. It's heavily weighted, so Pedro Pascal was probably being paid a whole ton of money, and then who's left over gets the scraps. That's how it is. That's the structure of the thing. But she's going to make, I'm trying to think of what her salary was for the episodes, and then she wasn't in every episode. But I mean, it's a massive number. It's a life-changing number. It's a buy another ranch, good-sized ranch, or extend your ranch, build a compound. I mean, it's going to be exceptional money, and it's going to be long-term money, because she's going to own a shit ton of this IP. So we're hoping to get Gina because it was done specifically for her, and it's an awesome project, Apex, and we're gonna work on it, and hopefully we get her to do it. And the way we present it is going to be pretty awesome and spectacular. I know that because I worked for a year setting up how it's going to be done, and having been in the on the fringes of the YouTube world, being on the fringes of the social media, now that I have the time to spend more time with it, I know how it's exactly going to be done, how it's going to be structured, and it's going to work. So we hopefully, Gina, you see this, and possibly we'll be talking to you by the time this gets out, and we don't want to give too much away until the time that if we put the deal together, that we see you talking about it. And like I said, don't need to be rough. I know how the YouTube world is, even though this is YouTube content on my thing, and I'll have a lot of comments on all kinds of things, all kinds of things. I've been inside and outside the system for a very long time. That's the beauty of being a spec writer, is you get to stay inside and outside of the Hollywood system, but I've been in the guts of it for 25 years. So that's this particular video. Look at that beautiful sunrise, still there. And cross your fingers, everybody, because you want this. Gina needs this. Cinemas need this kind of content, and hopefully we can get it all done. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And I'll be more animated. I mean, my other films, my other content is much more animated, super animated. But like I said, I want to ease. Gina's ready. She's ready, and she's ready to take on this type of project. She's ready to take on a lot of projects. And I had said this for 2.5 years ago, that people like me that know what they're doing are going to want to pursue Gina, because she's number one on IMDb. She's still just a little over 1,000. That's A-list level. Any agency, I have an agency I think that I can put her with that is the right match for her manager. If not, I'm sure another agency, even one of the larger agencies I know, would probably pick her up, because you can see the movement, and because what happened to her was undeserved, certainly, of course. But within that, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to you, Gina, is this whole thing, because I think you're going to grow from it. I think you're not going to depend on other people. You're going to depend on yourself, because I think you turned your career over. That was part of my other videos to a lot of other people. You should have been much farther along in your career, because it really started out on a great foot. I mean, haywire, doesn't get any better than that situation. And you've been in some substantial films, Deadpool and some of the others. So you had a really, you had a leg up, and should have been much farther along. I don't know if that was a management issue, don't know if it was an agency issue, but much farther along. I'm not quite sure what happened, or maybe they didn't know how you should be used. Because that's, let's face it, you are being used. You're a talent. You're a product. That's what it is when you're in film and television. You are the product. She's a great product, and it won't just be this one from us. I mean, if you're in the business as long as I've been in, you've got mountains of content, and there's mountains of content out there to be mined for Gina. And so let's go, everybody. Apex, cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. It's going to be incredible if we get a chance to do it. All right, everybody. Take care.